Meeting to order? No. We start off with the silent prayer.
Do I pledge allegiance to the flag? Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At the end of the table.
Treasurer Triplett. Trustee Wilkerson. Here. Trustee Irvine.
Here.
Trustee Steinbach. Here. Trustee Walker. Trustee Jefferson.
Here.
Hi, babe, how are you?
We'll go down to our guest speaker, Mr. Warren. You have the floor.
Well, good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here this evening. My name's Warren Whitley. I'm working with Macoupin County and the communities of Carlinville, Gillespie, Bunker Hill, Staunton, and the village of Royal Lakes on an enterprise zone application for the county. It's an application that's due at the end of the year. And, you know, we, at the request of the county board chair and the mayors and meetings that we've had previously, we definitely wanted to include Royal Lakes, particularly in the area around the intersection of 16 and 159 for potential development opportunities. I'm not here to guarantee that there will be development as a result of the enterprise zone, but it's certainly a good local economic development tool to have at your disposal in the event that development is being sought. As part of the enterprise zone application process, each community that's going to be part of the enterprise zone has to adopt an enabling ordinance, also an intergovernmental cooperation agreement, and a diversity ordinance that establishes a policy statement to encourage development of businesses and use of businesses in the zone that are owned by women, minorities, and individuals with disabilities. So those are the ordinances that are being presented to you tonight, along with a map and a description of the territory to be added. There's a number of parcels, because the enterprise zone stretches from just south of Girard and unincorporated Macoupin County down through Carlinville over to Gillespie, then west this way, Royal Lakes, and down to Bunker Hill, and then from Gillespie east down to the Staunton community. It comprises about 3.5 square miles. We can go up to 15 square miles, so there's a lot of opportunity for expansion. If there are other development opportunities along the way, the enterprise zone would be good for 15 years with the potential for a 10-year renewal. As mentioned, the applications are due at the end of this calendar year. They are reviewed through the first 6 months of 2020, with final decisions being made and zones awarded by a statewide enterprise zone not later than September 30th. And the zone would be effective in January of 2021. And that's when the 15 years period would start. Macomb County currently has an enterprise zone. It will be expiring at the end of, it's either at the end of, I think it's the end of 2020. So if we aren't successful in getting this renewed, there won't be an enterprise zone. Enterprise zone essentially provides state tax incentives, either tax exemptions or tax credits for businesses that choose to expand within the enterprise zone or locate to the enterprise zone. There's not really a local tax impact. There's not really a cost to your community as being part of the zone. You would have a seat on the enterprise zone advisory board. Each of the 6 units of government would have representation on that board. There's an enterprise zone administrator that handles the day-to-day operations of the enterprise zone. And I've been doing economic development most of my professional career, and I can just tell you that areas that aren't included in enterprise zone are often overlooked for investment, because these businesses are seeking every advantage and every cost advantage possible. So having the enterprise zone certainly gives you a good opportunity, certainly a much better opportunity than if you don't have the enterprise zone. I think that's kind of it in a nutshell. Be happy to answer any questions either from the audience or.
You were supposed to talk to us about what kind of ordinance we needed to set up.
Yeah, so the ordinances are here. I provided those to the clerk and the mayor. They've also been reviewed by your municipal council, Mr. Polo, and yeah. So I mean that's what's being presented here tonight.
Okay.
So,
Y'all have any questions?
is it just that in the section up there, or is it the whole town?
For right now, it's just the commercial sections along the boundaries of the two roads, 159 and 16. If there was to be development opportunity in other parts of the village, there's a process in place where the enterprise zone can be amended and additional territory added. As I said, you can go up to 15 square miles, which that's a lot of territory. 15 square miles really is. And the way that the current map is set up, we're only utilizing 3.5 miles. So there's a lot of opportunity for future development and
Is
expansion.
that 3.5 miles just for this municipality?
That's for the entire enterprise zone.
Okay, so it goes into Bunker Hill.
Yeah, so all of that area, and it kind of surprised me. I thought it would probably be more than 3.5 miles, but there's like these 3-foot wide connector strips that connect the various communities. So it is contiguous, which is a requirement of the law, but those connector strips don't take up a lot of property.
I know I come in a little bit late when you were explaining everything. What is the economical, the zoning basically about? Is it just for businesses, or how does the community fit into this?
Yeah, it's really just a tool for business development. Some communities have adopted a kind of a residential component. You could take a look at that at some point. But essentially the benefits are that if a business that's coming into a community to locate or expand any building materials that they're purchasing to build their facility or to expand their facility is exempt from state and local sales taxes. Then there's also an investment tax credit that is an offset against business income taxes. So it's a tax credit that those businesses get. But it's really the building materials exemption that's the biggest incentive.
Ms. Sandy? Ms. Sandy? Did you have a question?
No, he answered my question, thank you.
Anybody else got any questions?
There's some forms up here if somebody wants to look at what some of the things that he's talking about up here on the table.
So basically, the ordinance would say what?
That's
It would say that the Village of Royal Lakes, along with the City of Carlinville and the City of Staunton, Gillespie, and County of Coupon are joining together to form an enterprise zone, that the enterprise zone complies with the Enterprise Zone Act and all the provisions of state law. It sets up the governance, which is the advisory committee, and provides for the appointment of an enterprise zone administrator, administered on a day-to-day basis. It outlines the state tax incentives that are included in the enterprise zone. It describes the area, which are all the parcels in the various communities. It includes a map of the area, and then also includes as an exhibit the intergovernmental cooperation agreement, which again is an agreement among the 6 units of government. It's really just the enabling ordinance to be able to, for the 6 communities to work together to establish an enterprise zone.
Okay.
In the long run, that would have nothing to do, because a lot of times things get started out and then it has an effect to the communities. Now, with the zoning, we would never have anything to worry about with the enterprise becoming a zoning through the community itself.
Zoning resides at the local level. The enterprise zone cannot override local zoning, so you would still have that local control.
Because here, right now, we do not have a zoning here within the community. And I'm just wondering if that would, some way or another, backlash back to the community, where we would have to set up zoning for the building or whatever we have going on in the community.
No, you don't really have to. There are communities that don't have zoning ordinances. If let's say a convenience store, for example, wanted to establish a location at the intersection out here, you as a city council, village council would have to approve that, and then those enterprise zone benefits would be afforded to that business. But it really doesn't overrule any kind of local authority that you would have to control those kind of decisions.
Now, for instance, just as you were saying, if there was some type of business that was instructed, was to be built here on the highway close to the area, how would the zoning enterprise with all these different communities, how would that work? As for something being established here on the highway.
Yeah, so if, once the enterprise zone was established, there's a defined geographic area of the village that's part of that zone, and a business that would locate there automatically qualifies for those state benefits, they have to apply through the zone administrator to get an actual building materials sales tax exemption certificate. But they really work through the local zone administrator. Then again, if it was in an area that was not in the enterprise zone and you chose to expand the zone, there's a process under the Enterprise Zone Act for doing that kind of expansion.
On the minorities, what type of business could minorities?
It's really not, it really doesn't define the type of business. The ordinance really just sets up a policy statement that says it is the policy of the enterprise zone, and by virtue of that, the member communities to encourage the development of businesses owned by minorities, women, and individuals with disabilities. And also, if there are projects going on, then to employ or utilize businesses to work on those projects that are in those same categories. It's a policy statement, it's not a mandate, but it's one of there are 11 criteria that the zone is evaluated on, and that criteria was added a couple years ago. Each one of the criteria, you get a certain number of points if you meet it, and that's what we're working to do, is to get as many points for the application, and by including this ordinance, you qualify for up to an additional 40 points. So it's an important part of the application.
Is there a fee for being involved in the enterprise?
No, there isn't. No. The county and city of Carlinville is incurring, the costs for applying for the application. There's no cost to any of the communities once the zone is established. There's really, I've been asked the question before, what's the downside or disadvantage of joining? And I've thought about it a lot, and the honest answer is there is none. No, you're fine, you're fine.
When do you want us to turn this back into one?
Well, we would hope to be able to take action, this evening if possible, and then get signatures from you, Mayor, and the clerk. Do you meet monthly, or?
No, they turn this in for you so you can have it.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll take care of this evening.
Well, the papers that
Well, is this the first time that the city council has received this tonight, or they've had it a while to look it over and discuss different things with others here, to finally tell what they're getting to do? Do they know anything about this? Is this just handed in tonight, or have they had this for a while?
Right.
I was here, 2-3 weeks ago, and then, the mayor and the councilwomen attended a meeting we had in the spring about it.
Okay. So they're pretty much aware of what's going on?
Yeah, and your corporate counsel has had the ordinances, and I actually spoke with them today.
The reason I asked, because you said you wanted them to turn it in at night or vote on it, so I just wonder, have they examined this here document to know what they're actually getting into? So
I believe the answer.
We've had a time to look at
Yeah.
it.
They found it about a week.
Yeah, Councilwoman, you were at the meeting, I believe, Carlinville. Mayor, you were.
But the only thing is, the ones that we received, and I gave them copies of the ones that said draft.
Yeah, that is a clean copy of the exact
This
same
is
thing.
okay, this is the same thing here, okay. Okay, then they'll have to look at this then, I guess.
Indeed, y'all have any other questions?
And like I said, there's copies up here. You guys wanna look at it,
So,
kinda see what's going
private
on.
residents, at the council, the board, the mayor, they would have, maybe the opportunity to suggest businesses for the intersection.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's what we hope. I mean, we hope it stimulates business development, create jobs, create economic activity. That's what it's all about. That's what the tool is there for.
I'm sorry, didn't you change your name? Where are you from?
My name's Warren Ripley.
Mr. Ripley.
Yeah, I got it.
Talented Mr. Ripley.
Yeah.
Ripley's, believe it or not.
Yes, sir. Just a quick question in regards to, I understand that they're wanting you guys to act on this tonight. Could you point to the agenda item that this would cover for you to act on this tonight? I'm not seeing it on the agenda.
No, we're not gonna act on it tonight.
All right, thank you.
We really don't have enough.
Information
Yeah.
on advance, notice.
No, that's fine. I mean, I guess I just asked that it be in your agenda for your next meeting. We just need to have them approved before the end of the year in order to get the application.
Now, no other questions here? Warren, I appreciate you coming out here, Warren.
Okay? Thank you, Mayor, members of the council.
He says principal, over here.
Well, you're in real estate.
No.
You got any?
No.
We're going to make sure people of our bills from 11:01 to 11:30.
I'd like to make a motion of approval of our bills, pay our bills for the period from 11:01 to 11:30.
Second. Yeah, they're not here. I hadn't noticed.
Oh,
I didn't know if
they
I
had
didn't
to- Yeah, they had.
think they came back yet. They
No,
didn't
they
come
had-
back yet. Somebody came to
Miss,
me.
Tanya got sick and
Okay.
Miss
Wilkinson.
Wilkinson had to go see about Gary.
Okay. So we came,
So I guess we can make a motion.
yes, somebody else come in. Yeah, we just two. No, what about Kristen?
You don't have the quorum anymore.
Okay, well, this is it, right? So we can,
Y'all need one more.
yeah, we can't do nothing, we know. I was just thinking about, Kristen, I forgot. She's not,
Tanya left, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, John.
yeah. I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Now we'll let public comment.
I got a question.
You can't take action, but you can still have
I
that
mean,
coming.
yeah, well, we can
The
have,
last meeting that you
Okay.
had, if a person didn't show up 3 times in a row for his council meeting, that you was gonna terminate him,
was that mentioned?
yes? You got an individual sits down in the corner and been here the last 3 or 4 meetings.
Are you referring to me, sir?
No. You're not on the board.
That's what I'm saying.
Please don't.
Please don't.
Please don't.
Question to you then.
Hernan.
If it's technically
No, it
no longer a
wasn't,
meeting
no.
because they left, we can't really ask
I
questions
wasn't
either,
there,
right?
no.
Or
It
can we?
wasn't there. It wasn't
Well, that's what I'm, they don't
He
have enough
was
for a
here,
meeting.
yeah, he was here last month. Yeah, he was here last month.
They can't take action.
See, I didn't know they could, we
Yeah, he was
have,
here last month.
yeah, see, that was my question, I didn't
She was
know.
elected.
That
We
wasn't
can
in,
talk.
that
I
wasn't
mean,
in the meeting.
Sometime last meeting, you said you were actually elected.
Let me see.
Did you tell us?
Yes.
Have you been sworn in by anybody?
It's not, it ain't on the agenda, we don't have it on the agenda.
I was looking to do it next at the next meeting.
You can go to the county clerk and be sworn in and take the oath of office at the county clerk.
You don't have to be sworn in at the meeting. You can go to an attorney's office, get sworn in,
Oh, okay.
and then just come in and have a seat.
Oh, I can do that tomorrow.
The
Yeah.
trustee being an ordinance officer, I believe is not allowed. I hope you read that before you decide to appoint a trustee as an ordinance officer.
Wait, I'm sorry, what's your name, sir?
John Pratt,
This is the watchdog committee.
we're I'm from Paris, Illinois,
Paris?
with the Edgar County Watchdog.
Where's
Last-
Look at the watchdog.
Last month, and there's other laws in addition to those, because it will be a conflict of interest. You can't legislate the rules and then be the enforcement officer of the same rules. Otherwise, the state's attorney can go out and arrest people, and he can't do that.
Do we have more than one copy?
No, you got my only copy. The last meeting, I mentioned I did not receive all of the requests for water connections that I asked for in my FOIA. And the FOIA officer said my request was not specific, and I only requested those who got water. However, here's my FOIA, and it clearly says, copy of all requests for water connection in the last 2 years. So I would hope your FOIA officer would correct that statement from last month. And just for your information, and I'll hand this out to all of you. Sorry for the poor ink. But that is what gives any person the right to come in and fire up a video camera, still camera, audio recording device, anything they want during a public meeting. They don't have to inform you guys. You guys can make reasonable rules, but those rules have to enhance the ability of the person to record, not further restrict their ability to record. And by enhancement, or you guys can say, okay, you have to put your camera right there in that spot, and you can't have any flash photography. That's a rule you can put in place. Or you can put it in by that door on the inside of the frame, and no flash photography, and that's the only place you can record. Those are rules you can put into place, but you can't put into place rules that require somebody to ask you guys 15 minutes or 48 hours or 2 weeks in advance or any part in advance for permission to come in and record. Those are not rules that you're permitted to make. And the Attorney General's got a website. They have all their binding opinions. They have non-binding opinions, and all of those opinions, when it talks about recording public meetings, all say basically the exact same thing I just said. They even tell, like if your meeting's in a courthouse, some counties have their meeting in the courthouse where they don't permit cameras in the entire building. But when they have a public meeting in there, they have to allow everybody's camera and everybody's cell phone in that building. So, that's all I have for tonight, I appreciate it. You were gone, where is that? I give it. This email. Last month you said I wasn't specific enough, but if you read number 1, I believe I was. Thanks.
Yeah, I just had one quick note. I see on your paying of the bills, you've got paying of the trustees and the mayor's fee. Last time we talked about the compensation setting resolution. Have you guys ever found any minutes that supported that you ever passed a resolution for your compensation?
As to do is one you see right there.
What's that?
He says that's it right there.
So you haven't ever found any minutes that said there was a resolution passed 180 days before taking office? And how are you paying
Yes,
yourself?
we did. No, we found that one for 2016.
Oh, so 16,
But that's not for you guys' term now.
That's for
You
the
found a
clerk.
different one, because when I
who
put
gets
it,
me?
That's only for the clerk.
right, there isn't any for, you haven't found anything since my last FOIA is what I'm asking. And how do you pay yourself? If you can't have a compensation resolution, you shouldn't be getting paid. I thought we cleared that up last time. What's that?
A compensation resolution.
And somewhere in your minutes before the last election, you had had to have passed something that says how much the trustees are getting paid.
If that wasn't done, you can't be paid. Any elected official. That's all I have.
So if they've been getting paid, then they should have to repay it back.
Yes, ma'am, in my opinion.
I'm pretty sure the minutes are somewhere. We're missing
Yeah.
three more people actually, so it's got to be somewhere.
It's not.
Do you work in it?
Huh?
I noticed on the bill list that the insurance was paid 2 different times the same amount. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. The actual bill is $5,000 and some dollars. I don't know it exactly offhand. And to not to kill one account, I took it out of both
I
accounts.
understand. I was just curious.
Yes.
Thank you.
Now, you was talking about water, he's got water, his contractor just ain't come put it in yet.
Yeah, we talked about that last month, and we appreciate you working with him.
Yeah, he just ain't had time to come out here and put it in for him yet.
Thank you much, appreciate you taking care of it.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know why I've been paying for years that $5 maintenance fee on my bill. When I called up here years ago, they said it was because they were in the red. Well, how long do y'all stay in the red for me to get it off of my bill?
Maintenance fee help keep us out of the red completely, always. And now that we have kind of come up some, we're not taking the maintenance fee off to go back down in the red, to have to put it back on there, then we have to hear from you again, why are you putting it on here again? That's my side of it. That's how I look at it, because you're not the only one paying it. Everybody on the lake and off the lake is paying.
I understand. But why are you in the red when you have people that have
I can't speak about before me, I can speak for now.
People have stolen money from this
Sit right there.
and they have not had to pay it back.
That's
That
why
is
they were
not
in the
my
red,
fault.
and that person's the one that told me they were in the red, and that's why they put that on there.
I,
Because
like I say,
$50,000
I
a year
can't
was
speak
stolen.
for before I came in office.
That's right.
I
I
can't
don't
speak
know
for
nothing
that.
about all.
For many years now, people has been sticky fingers. Why haven't they been put in jail or made them pay it back so everybody don't have to pay the $5? That's,
Why didn't the people that was up here over them make them go to jail?
Well, that's
We
what I'm
don't
saying.
know why they didn't
We
make them
don't know.
go to
We
jail.
knew. We
You
don't
should be asking
know.
them.
Yes.
Why they didn't put them in jail?
Attorney and the sheriff's department.
It should be
So I
on,
went to.
but they
And
want to
then
throw
we got
all
it
those
in
questions at
August.
us. We don't
So the
know.
big thing is you're not in red now on the water.
That's correct.
I know, I love doing
So if you're gonna continue taking some $5 out, in case.
Yes.
So then they're
Trying
gonna
to
get paid
stay.
interest on that $5 every month that you're taking and holding on to?
None of the accounts that, so far like water and stuff, we do have some savings accounts, but because of how USDA come in and take money out, you don't get interest on them. Because savings account, it means the money is sitting there and just sit there. The money up here don't just sit there. It goes, bills keep going. And where the water account money is, it's not a savings account. It's a checking account, and it's not the type of checking account that pays interest on it. That is some of the problem why stuff don't move anymore or the monies don't grow, because they're not savings accounts. And I don't know how and what they did before that, but right now, ain't no way where you deal with no savings account, because money don't sit there long enough. These
You can
accounts
get a
get hit
checking-
every month.
You can get a checking account that pays interest.
Okay, and I'm trying to explain to you, sweetheart, we can't do that up here.
As a business.
If I may interject here, that $5 was voted on several years ago.
Exactly.
Just let me finish before I get interrupted. $5 was basically for maintenance. Any problems that the water system had, that $5 was slowly calculated, added up, put to the side, in case we have a water problem, something, we had money to lay back, to fall back on and take care of it. So that's why everybody was paying the $5. It's not that the village was in the red, it was in the black, that had nothing to do with it. It was all about maintenance for the water department. That's what that money is supposed to be building up to take care of any water problems that they may have in effect. That's what it's for.
Thank you.
If I can't be corrected, if somebody has been in here that knows, and I stand to be correct, but that is what the village voted on from the previous administration a couple of years back on this $5. So that's why everybody pays it. It's not nobody getting sticky fingers, nobody just trying to take some away from it. That money was there for a purpose. And it should be, now that should have something in the ordinance where it was written up, and you may have to look back.
Right.
Because it was voted on in a meeting for that to be taken out from every member, every water user.
If I may, Mayor, just make a suggestion, and I don't know the history behind it, and I agree with the clerk, your comment, the past folks, that they need to answer to that. One thing that you folks can do as a board is adopt a resolution and send it to the state's attorney that you folks as leaders in this community are demanding accountability for X, Y, and Z, whatever those issues were. I don't know what they were.
If I may.
Ain't no state's attorney.
See, the thing of
Who's
this.
the state's attorney?
We
Why
did
they
that
ain't up
when
there?
I was in administration, we demanded
To answer
that.
to answer
and
your
they went,
question,
we're not doing it. That's
It wasn't a
exactly.
question, it was just a suggestion that you can't do that
Yeah,
as
that's
a
a
community.
good-
well, that
That's
had
a
been
good
done, but the state's attorney did not act on it. She would not
Neither did the
act on it
sheriff's
for whatever given reason, that it was, the information, the legislative papers and everything was taken to her, but she did not act on it.
Got the same state's attorney?
Yes.
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 She's about to be,
We have.
They are.
somebody's running against her.
Get her out of office.
All right.
Somebody's running against her this now.
And I greatly appreciate that, because now that I know that, what I plan on doing, I'm going to request all of those records.
Thank
And we're going to
you.
expose the state's attorney.
Thank you.
If there's malfeasance and they chose not to take
Thank
care of
you.
it, we'll expose that. And I appreciate you filling us in on that, because I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, that's why.
Thank you.
Yeah.
She has a copy of all that, and so
Thank
do I.
you too.
Because I brought it all to her, and so did, at the time, Mayor Sanders.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah, I can't send it to you, yes.
That would be great.
And similarly, where they had that grant money.
Yeah, I have all the checks that were
And
written
they sent
and
it back.
everything.
Yeah, we had money for gold, and to get that bill, they all they was off the Culver's house.
That's what I'm
So this is all from that
grant year. Get that grant year, and they took the people that they elected in, lost the grant.
Wow. Yeah, there was no records also when I got here.
And then
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I have a question. If you have that $5 fee on everybody's bill, then that money, and he's saying it's for maintenance, that money shouldn't be used for anything else. It should be in an account, a savings account, every month, above what you have on the water. That's a maintenance fee that you said that if there's problems, you have to go back and use that money. Is there an account for that?
They never set it up.
Well, you should.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda, it ain't never been set up, that's all I can tell you.
The board can set
Water
it, yeah.
supply test.
Because if you do have a problem, you have notice.
Well, who pays him?
The village.
That should be out of the water maintenance fees that you're
But
getting.
see, when you
They
say
go
maintenance,
into
maintenance
test
can
water.
be
Right.
anything, and that's some of the reason why it's not.
And all you have to do is set up a separate account for that $5 you get from every month.
Wherever it come from.
And it could be the
Whichever
same water.
direction it come from.
Because they have no idea.
That's
We got
no.
17 accounts, they have no touch. They said, do it.
Thumbs up, thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Everybody gotta go now?
Mr. Jefferson, I have a question for you. Since this is coming up, information on this, and we're all minorities, it seems like, being here. Are you gonna build your hotel?
Yeah, go for it.
I'm gonna go for it.
Let me answer that.
I might go for it.
You might go for it.
Right.
Well, this is a good deal. This is a good deal.
It'll be something good for the community.
When is the next election for the trustees board members? Anybody else that?
Should be some of them in 2020, right?
Some coming up in 20.
Or 2021.
It's coming up.
Well, you have two coming on board or what?
Yeah, no, I think you got two. I think it's two.
That's a mayor election too, isn't it?
Yeah, there I go. Now, from the way I got the understanding on it, the way it was explained to me with Pete, they claim they gonna do it in 2021, but they got to get the presidential thing out the way, though. They done got so far behind with so much different things. Yeah, see, they done got so far behind with a lot of different stuff. And so now they got to prolong it over to there, go. It's just a mess up there at the courthouse right now.
Always gonna be in 2020, was always at the lights on that community center.
Yeah.
The lights on the community center.
See, they probably left them on another day.
It's in 20.
Can I make a motion?
No, you're not on the board.
Darn.
Any other questions?
Could I ask about the, I don't know if y'all gonna discuss it probably, but I see that the mold truck was here.
Yeah.
Okay, can anything be done? Is it a reasonable price?
He hasn't gotten back with us, and he said that, they priced that by, footage, and that's a big building.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he took measurements of the gym, of the gym over there. He said upstairs isn't really as bad, but they would have to take that carpet all up, because you know it's in the carpet for sure. But they would take by footage, and they haven't got back with us about how much it would probably run. So I'm thinking it's gonna be a lot. But he said it's definitely mold in there.
I had a question about the burnt building. Do you know if that's gonna be removed anytime soon?
They're working on it now. They was
Well, the
down there
trailer's
today.
burnt too.
Yeah, they was down there cleaning it today. They was inside today working in it today. So I think they supposed to be getting all
That's
that
kind of
cleaned
an
up.
eyesore.
Yeah.
And it's right on the highway.
But I think they're working on it as quick as they can get it done and get everything finished. They were down there today inside of it.
I was just curious.
Yeah, that's what that
that's
green
what
truck
I wanted
was,
to know.
sitting down there today, so that's what they're doing now. They working inside of it.
If, I got a property that's not really used, is there anyone up here that's wrecking equipment, demolition equipment? You know, to the shipment or the Mar Hill Fire Department do a thing where they, I know they used to a long time ago.
What they do, the voluntary thing where they come out for training.
Training.
They come back with a lot of that stuff now. They come back with a lot of stuff now. used to be where you can let them come in your neighborhoods and do that, but now they don't take the risk with it now no more. Any other questions? If not, then.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we adjourn the meeting.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry, I misunderstood. You asked questions, and I just want to speak for a minute in public session.
Okay.
I'm not sure I understand. This young lady's been elected, and you haven't sworn her into office? Is that correct?
That's already been handled, they've already told me.
Let's do it right now.
No.
Why can't you do it now?
We didn't, yeah.
You don't have to, it's not, you can't vote on these. It's not, excuse me.
The mayor and clerk can do it.
That's the point, is that if she's been elected, it only takes a public official to administer the oath of office, and you can do that now, that is not an actionable item on an agenda. So you can solve that problem right here and now. Why not? You know, it's not a bad thing. I've known this lady, she's been elected, she needs to be recognized, take her oath of office, and begin to go to work. I would like. So,
That's the clerk's job.
you can do that right now, this very minute, put it behind you. And then you have one less issue to deal with.
Do you have your book?
The other comments I have, correct me
They're
if
gonna
I'm
repeat
wrong.
it to you, they're gonna repeat it to
You
you.
have a resident here that applied for water 2 years ago, and he has yet to get water?
He's getting it now.
He just got his contract, he's just waiting for his contractor.
That's a long time.
Josh.
That's a long time to go without water. I can't last more than an hour or so. So, those are my thoughts. Thank you, I appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you for your words of wisdom. Okay.
Did you need these papers back?
I have one question, and I may be dumb probably to one of this other law. In order to be a member on the board, do you have to live within the center of the community, or can you be on the outskirts of the community, or how is it actually? You have to be right here, citizen.
Yes.
Okay.
And you have to be a citizen of the village for a year.
Yes.
Well, there's a boundary, yeah.
Anything else? I'd like to make a motion that we adjourn the meeting.
Okay.
Let's swear her in.
I second that motion.
I'm okay with waiting until next month, because I want to do some research on all the paperwork and just my duties as a board member. You know, I don't mind.
You've been elected, go to work.
Well, I've been looking, looking over things as well, but I mean, actually coming into the meeting, seeing what's been going on, getting caught up with everything. So I don't mind waiting till next month. These days are going like seconds anyway, so we'll be here in no time.
That all happens after your sworn in. I mean, if you want to see what they're doing, there are things that the board discusses that the public doesn't normally see on a daily basis. So for you to be at that level, you have to be sworn in. They should just do it tonight, and then
We'll just wait.
Next meeting.
I'm okay with personally waiting until next month. I have no problem with that.
Okay.
I mean, I'm okay with it. We'll see. We'll be here doing the same thing, and hopefully you'll be here to witness me getting sworn in.
I do, I'd like to see that.
Yeah, second.